Welcome to AAPC Social Hour for February 28th, 2023. The last day of the month, guys. Tomorrow, spring officially starts.
Sure. I'm with you.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, as I say that, we're dealing with a snowstorm. We got hit pretty good last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh no.
Yeah. I've got my friends Angela Clements with me. Hi, Angela.
Hey, hi everybody.
And I have Jackie Caprios with me.
Hey.
And we have Annie Barnaby with us from Project Resume.
Hi everyone.
So I know, Angela, you're in Texas, right?
I am Southeast Texas.
Okay, so probably no snow today in Texas.
No, we're back to summer type weather, but about a week ago we were able to have all 4 seasons in one day, which is typical.
Okay.
Nice.
That's amazing. Jackie, you're back east, northeast.
Me?
Yeah, aren't you? Or you're in are you in San Diego right now?
I'm in San Diego. I'll be back east, like in Virginia, North Carolina next week. But right now I'm home in San Diego. And we've got the rain. I didn't get snow here in San Diego, but all around me has snow. In fact, around here we have the Julian Pie Company. They make pies and they can't deliver their pies because they're snowed in the little town of Julian.
No pies today.
But we're good. We just have rain and sun back and forth.
Not a good time to vacation in San Diego.
Oh, it's always a good time to vacation.
Oh man. Everything I know about San Diego is from the Anchorman, my favorite news anchor. Do you watch Ron Burgundy?
Yeah, so I guess you know what it means, and we're not going to talk about that. But hey, yeah, it's a crazy, crazy movie.
Yes. And Annie, where are you at, Annie?
I am in Richmond, Virginia, and that's where I met Jackie. And we are having beautiful weather. I'm anxious to get outside after my work day. It's gorgeous here, but I'm sure we'll have, snow tomorrow or whatever. It's just not everywhere.
Yeah,
yes.
Crazy in Richmond.
Yes.
I have to brag real quick. So tonight, we have a few AAPC staffers in town. Ray Marie's team, I believe, is in town. So Craig Larson and Lee Williams and a bunch of them. So we're going to the Jazz game tonight. So that should be fun.
Oh my God! Yay!
Hey, that's
you guys can
that
come.
used to be our team, Alex.
Yeah.
Y'all stole them from New Orleans.
That Utah, it is funny, but hey, we need something here, so let us have it. Hey, we've got amazing members with us. Sandra is with us, lady from Orange, California. Lindsay Motter says, "Hey, Jackie and Angela."
Hey, Lindsay.
Robin Connors from Burnsville, Minnesota. Robin, I feel like this may be the first time I've seen your name on our in our comments. Let us know, is this your first AAPC social hour? We have Shanaz Afshan from New Jersey. Thanks for being with us today. Beverly, our friend Beverly Johnson. She just says Jackie with 5 exclamation points or so. I don't know if that's good or bad.
That's
but
good.
I'll leave that between you guys.
She's a TA in my class. She's fabulous.
Awesome. And Mariah Edwards, who is from my neck of the woods. We're seeing her on here pretty regularly out in far west. So Mariah, I know in Layton, just south of you, we got hit pretty good with some snow last night. Did you as well? Our friend Sarah Reagan Sarah, are you at the Tampa chapter? Because I'm speaking virtually for the Tampa chapter in March. So yes. And let's see here. Who else we got? We got so many great members. Cindy from St. Louis, Cindy Rowland. That's a new name to me, guys. Have any of you met Cindy Rowland before?
Please.
I'm
No.
going to say in case I haven't, I don't remember. How bad of me.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see her at HealthCon. I don't know.
Yeah.
Allison from St. Louis, Jamie from Kentucky.
Yeah.
God, we have a good crowd today.
Mhm.
All right. Tasha from Dublin. Now, hey guys, Annie, we're going to talk a lot with you real quick about well, first off, let's just do this. Let's just start with you. You are the owner of Project Resume.
Yes.
You have if you've been to HealthCon in the past, you've certainly been by her booth and talked to her.
So,
Yes.
yes.
Annie, how many years, how long have you been with have you had Project Resume?
We're going on 8 years now. This is our 8th year, 2015. So it's been super fun, and we've grown, and being at HealthCon has been wonderful for sure. I've missed it the years that, the couple years past where I've had to been virtual, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Nashville. So
Yes. Have you been to Nashville before?
I have never been there. So I'm excited. We're gonna have a good time. Good times.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Now, everybody should know Angela and Jackie. And if you don't, they're gonna know you guys now. So we'll start with Angela. Angela, just quick review of how long you've been a coder for, and how you've helped with AAPC or helped us at the national office.
Okay, so I'm Angie Clements. I'm from New Orleans, but currently live in Texas. I have been in the industry for 20 plus years. I started out as a certified coder and worked my way up to an auditor and educator. So I've been involved with the AAPC at both the local level and the national level. I served on the National Advisory Board from 2013 to 2015. And then I served from 2015 to 2018 as an officer. I've spoken at a lot of their national, regional, and local events, and I am happy to be here today.
Awesome. We're happy to have you with us. And Angela and I are friends on Facebook, and she is someone that if I were in a dark alley, I would want her with me, because she's like Taekwondo, yes. So I need that protection sometimes.
I got your back, Alex.
So thank you. Thank you.
Let me know if any of the members are messing with you in the chat.
Me
Yes,
too.
yes. And Jackie, I'm not going to say a word. You tell us about yourself.
Well, I've been in the industry for 35 years and joined AAPC. I remember I've told the story so many times. I was working in Charlottesville at UVA at the time, Charlottesville, Virginia. And I remember the magazine came through and we were all like, whoa, we can be certified coders. It was, I don't even know if it was 93 or 94. And a band of us got together, and I just got to say, for me, and I can only speak to my personal experience, I have been a proud member of AAPC since the day I joined. It's been a 30 some years, and like any company, it goes through ups and downs, but at the end of the day, I'd say throughout all of it, they've had my back, and the more they give, just like Angie and I were on the NAB at the same time. That's how I met her. And so I was on the National Advisory Board from 2011 to 2018, with the last 3 years being the president of the National Advisory Board. And I've been through many different presidents, along the way, CEOs and presidents with AAPC. And the one thing they've always said all along the way is, we care about the members, and, we need to hear. And I think that was my biggest lesson, being so involved with local chapters and being involved with the advisory board and really understanding how things work. For me, it's been an incredible relationship with AAPC, and watching them grow and how much they've changed through the years, because it was very tiny and very small back in the early 90s, because they just got together in 88. So it's been an incredible ride. I for the most part, I'm an auditor. I'm the director of provider audit services at Coker Consulting Company, and I still work very heavily with the AAPC as well.
Okay. And I believe I met both Jackie and Angie when you guys were serving. I think, Jackie, you were probably on the tail end of your presidency.
Yes, when we actually met and spoke the first time in the airport leaving Las Vegas.
Okay.
And we saw each other in the airport,
Yes.
and we were on the same flight, and not knowing it, we both texted, or we both put on Facebook, I want to play with Alex. And you said, I want to play. Like, I'm so nervous. I don't know if I can talk to him. And you said the same.
Yeah.
It was so
funny.
funny.
Oh man.
I'm with Alex.
That's cute. That's
And
sweet.
one thing I love about, well, I love social hour for many reasons. One is I feel like this day and age, it's so easy for us to just kind of, we fall behind a computer. We don't see each other. You guys are watching are members of this organization, but it's hard to make those personal connections or make it feel like, hey, there are people here who want the best for you. And I hope that this brings that to you guys. And I know when I go to HealthCon or any of our live events, I absolutely get those feelings, and not all of us can make it to our live events, but hopefully you can soon. I just want to give a few shout outs here. A few people mentioned that this is their first social hour. So Robin Hoff, first social hour for me. So excited to get my resume from Project Resume. So Robin, it might be, or Annie might be someone you may know. Let's see here. Someone else. Oh, here we go. Kimmy Joe, first social hour for me in first semester teaching HIM courses for a local community college.
Nice.
Excited to be here. I think what's unique about
Awesome.
Annie is you are a coder, or were a coder, right, Annie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Still do some coding. I'm mostly in compliance and education now, but yes.
Okay.
Since 2005. So it's been a while for me. It's been almost 20 years. I can't believe it.
All right. Angie, this is important for you. Beverly, our friend Beverly Johnson says, Angela, I'm a black belt in Kempo Karate.
Ah,
So there you go.
there you go. There's another one. You can just have like a little squad of us, Alex, to protect you. We
Yes,
can be
Team
your
AAPC.
bodyguards.
Yeah. Yes. But we're so excited to have everybody with us. Sorry for the technical issues last week. We got it figured out yesterday. And so we'll have a social hour we got today, and then we'll still be having social hour next week. We brought Annie on because we want to talk about resumes. I know there may be student coders or first time or CPCAs in here searching for the first job. This is always a question that comes up in the Facebook group. Resumes. Annie, like, initial thoughts. Well, you see these comments too. What do you think?
Definitely. Yeah. And I know that it is a point of anxiety, and it's hard to know what to do. And I think a lot of new coders are so focused, rightfully so, on the test. And then that is lifted and it's like, oh, well, what do I do now? So obviously the first step is your resume. And it is important to have obviously a professional resume, because that's what's going out in your job applications. People want to see exactly what you're capable of and your skills. But I would argue even more so, it's important to have a professional one for your online presence, like LinkedIn or even on Facebook, things like that. And I see a lot of posts about resumes, and I see a lot of posts that are kind of, they have typos or they don't make much sense. Sometimes I'm trying to decipher what exactly are you asking. And it's a common mistake, I think, to assume that only the people in that group will see that, or only your fellow coders will see that. But employers are everywhere, and they are looking to see about you. They want to know about you. And that resume that you have online, as you said, so much is done online right now, and so much is done through social media, truly, that it really is important to have that resume that shows you as a professional, that you can work in an office, and that you're taking, things seriously. So, the resume, your contact information. I always remember this. Does anyone remember ringback tones, where you called someone's phone and instead of the ring, you got like the Flintstones theme song or whatever it was? I used to have to call to hire coders, and I got so many of those. And I actually am not 100. I think it's just the woman on my voicemail saying, please leave a message. But, even things like that, that's going to be your first contact with someone. You want to have everything professional, especially your email address, like just working down the resume. I'm thinking now, your contact information, and so many resumes have someone's personal email address. And again, that's your first thought. Well, how am I reached? Okay, here's my email address, but it's, partygals92, or it's not worse, but, the Robinson family 16 or something like that. That to an employer, you oftentimes don't think of the fact that they probably have to type that out. They probably don't have a link. So if you have Party Girl 61 or whatever, think of someone typing in, okay, what is it? Pete? Party Girl. Okay. And then they have to put in Party Girl 61 to reach you. So it's really important. And it's things that you don't think about because they're just part of your everyday life. But when you're looking for a job and you have your resume out there, every single part of you needs to be professional, because people do look, on LinkedIn, especially big time, and they want to see about you. And so it's really important to have that professional document and information out there.
And I'm going to ask a question. Would you say that it is, or I don't know, Bob, and again, it's been so long since I've been through any hiring process, but I remember my sons talking about this when they graduated college. Would you say it could be part of a hiring process for someone to look for you, find your Facebook page, or if they were involved in AAPC, go to that AAPC Facebook page, and whether it's right or wrong, make a judgment off of someone's stance on things, or their language, or the way they communicate with others?
Absolutely, 100%. I think that more and more employers, as you said, whether it's right or wrong, they're doing it. And literally everything that you have online is accessible to them, and can be seen. And I know that when you're in a job, maybe you're looking for a new job, but especially posts about your job, how much you dislike your job at this point, or even just, in a joking manner. That is something that someone who is hiring might think, I don't want to be involved in that. That's not something that I want to take that risk. Hundreds and hundreds of people are seeing that post. That is someone that I don't want to take that risk, to take that hit to my company's reputation. So it really is very important to look at your social media, make sure that, that's you that you're putting out there. And for better or for worse, that is something that, people can make a judgment about and decide whether or not to hire you.
Do you think they're making that look as they receive the resume, and not waiting until and making some decisions on whether or not to even, and I know this is all guessing work.
Sure.
I think they're making the potential is they could even be making those decisions off of a resume without even waiting to call the person in and see more. And if you have a lot of resumes and you've got to make decisions, do you believe that potentially that could be one way to get into that pile, the don't call pile?
You're talking about like contact information, things like that. Yeah, I absolutely. I think so. And, there's so many steps that you need to get through, and there's so many eyes that are going to be on your resume and on your information. And yes, whether it's if you have two very similar people and one of them has a professional email address and one of them does not, someone took more time to make that resume than the other person. So, it can be that quick and it can be that simple. And I do think that perhaps before an interview or after an interview, and then so many are, it used to be the phone interview was like the first step, and then they brought you in, and now everything is virtual. So there's the equal steps, I guess. But when you're after you talk to someone, looking to see, okay, what's this person all about? Do I want to take that next step? So absolutely, I think it can start with the resume level for sure.
Right. Alex, we getting any good comments on any of
Yes.
this?
Abundance. Tamara says this. She says, my teenage daughter got hired, and the day of her orientation, she was called and let go because of her Facebook page.
You're kidding.
Oh no.
Wow.
Gutting.
Another thing in this industry that I think that coders don't think about is, when you go to a doctor's office and you're frustrated because you've been waiting 30 minutes past your appointment time. So you go and post your negative post about still waiting in the waiting room at such and such's office, and you tag where you are. A lot of us now are able to apply for jobs across the nation. And if they go check your Facebook page and see that you're negatively posting about other healthcare industries that could potentially be one of their clients when you're going to work for a coding company, that's a red flag too. They don't want to hire someone who's going to have negativity on their post that may impact a industry, healthcare organization that's going to hire them to do their coding work.
That's a great point, Angie.
Yeah,
There's another comment I'd like to read real quick. Angelica Garcia says, in my teenage years, my email was Cancer Girl because of my birth month, and people thought I had cancer. I'd learned from a young age that your email matters so much. Now she keeps it professional. And we're going to in a few minutes, we're going to shift gears and talk more about online persona and how you carry yourself online in the AAPC Facebook group or other groups or wherever. But about a month ago, I remember there was a debate in the Facebook group, and in the comments, people were talking about employers looking at people's personal Facebook pages. Whether you think it's right or wrong for employers to make those decisions based off of that, you have to accept that that is a possibility that could happen.
Absolutely.
You're out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can Google you. I mean, no one can stop someone from Googling you. So it's up to you what someone can find. And we all have to live with that, through all our years. I'm not especially proud of everything I've done. We all do silly things at certain times, but fortunately for me, and I can only speak to me because of my age, most of my young years when I was really silly was before internet and social media. So there's not a lot of trail. Yay!
Yes.
For being old.
Yes.
Yes, that's a win in our column for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I have a resume question for Annie. I know a lot of times when we talk about resumes, we focus on those who are coming in and doing their resumes for the first time. What would you say to someone who has maybe been in the industry for 30 plus years and they've had multiple jobs, they've maybe published in publications from the Health Business Monthly, they spoke at chapters. I know that's always been, try and condense your resume into one page. So what would you say to that person that's maybe making a change and has had that multiple? So their resume might be 2 or 3 pages long. How do you get that condensed?
That's a great question. And it's one that comes across my desk quite a bit, quite a few times. And I think that, as you said, that many years, as your years go on, you're going to have to probably push your resume to maybe 2 pages. The 1 page is I like that better for a number of reasons, but one of them is to force people to be concise with what they're saying. And I think that continues on no matter how many jobs you've had. So if you have condensed, concise, professional bullet points under each of your jobs, and that still takes you to 2 pages, then okay, you're at 2 pages. That suggestion or advice is for those who maybe only had 2 jobs and their bullet points are, 3-4 lines long. No one can read that. It just does not happen. So it's never a deal breaker. I don't think it shouldn't be. And a 2-page resume I'm talking about. But yeah, if you have those years under your belt, you're going to have to keep going. But know that they might not ever get to that 2nd page, and that's okay. And then I always assure people, anything you leave off or anything that you kind of have to cut, you can always talk about in an interview. Bring that up when they're talking about it. That's not the end all be all. You can talk about anything that you want. And I always say, write down special projects that you've done. So when you have that chance, you can share it. So, yeah.
Okay. This is for Robin. Robin Connors is asking, is this broadcast for those looking for a job? Robin, we try to cover everything. We might talk heavy coding stuff sometimes. We often talk about jobs and that journey for new coders, but you never know what you're going to get with each social hour. Yes.
That's the joy of it. That's what we like.
That's right. That's right.
Spontaneity.
Well, Annie, so a paper resume, would that translate just fine to your LinkedIn page? What do you think?
Well, sure. LinkedIn has a lot of great features, and speaking of social media and your social presence, that is definitely the number one place that people go to look. And I mention that because it's true, and 2, because it's become, for some people, a social media site, like a Facebook or an Instagram or things like that. So you want to keep that LinkedIn page professional and professional posts, but they do have a place where you can upload a PDF of your resume, so that that's kind of like a picture. It stays the same. The formatting doesn't shift or anything like that. And then they also have a place where you can kind of fill it in. It's almost like a job application, but that does help you, because then people who pay to have, these LinkedIn wide searches are able to find, your individualized talents and things like that. So yes, if you just have a paper resume and you want to scan it and save it as a PDF, I would absolutely do that. And then do that first, and then start maybe translating that, typing it into a Word document, so that you can update it as needed, and so you can have that format as well. But LinkedIn has really come a long way as well, haven't we all? But LinkedIn used to be not what it is today. And I mean, for the good and the bad, there's a lot of good places though. And especially for coders, I think a lot of recruiters go there to find CPCs and CPCAs and anything that they need.
AAPC has a LinkedIn group, and I wish that it seems like professionals don't use, at least our professionals don't use the LinkedIn group like the Facebook groups. We're Facebookers in AAPC. And because of that, your personal Facebook profile becomes your LinkedIn profile, kind of. So think about what your profile picture looks like. Think about those things that are public facing and how they will present themselves to someone. I've interviewed several coders, and I mentioned this yesterday, several coders who found jobs, their first job after becoming a CPCA. They found their first jobs because of the networking they did in the Facebook group. So that's a real thing. And just be aware. And just so the group knows, you might have a friend who's trying to get into the Facebook group, and if that account looks like a spam account, and if you're in the Facebook group, you know that we struggle with keeping the spammers out. We work hard to keep it free from that. But if I look at the account, they don't answer the questions to join the group. I will peek into their account as far as it will let me. And if I can't see anything that makes me feel like it's a real human or someone who legitimately wants to make professional connections, then I won't let them in.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And it's just another example of, everything that you put out there is seen by basically anyone who wants to see it. I think that's the deal that we make when we, do social media. So it really is important to have a personality, but not, keep certain things to yourself.
Yes.
Some professional things to yourself.
Well, Annie, thank you so much for being with us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
You bet. And just a plug for those who may be seeking a resume service, you can contact Annie at Project Resume.
Yes.
You can find her in the group, Annie Barnaby. There are also other Facebook or resume services. Or Sarah Reagan has one, and I don't think, I don't think that there's a contention or battle. Like, I know that there's probably plenty of work for everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sarah is so sweet, and I love to see everybody else. I just want to see coders get help. And so I just want everyone to get the help that they need. So yeah, we've got a good relationship. I've never met her, but I hope to someday. So yeah, for sure. Any resume help that you need, there's people out there to help. So
You might see her in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah, you coming to Nashville? We've probably talked about this. Hey, you need to know about these comments, Annie. So when we kicked off talking about resumes, and you mentioned how long you've been in the industry for, and I had to take a picture of this because the comments fly, and I needed to tell you this. Angelica Garcia says, 20 years? You look 30.
Oh.
And she said,
thank you.
Yeah, she said,
She
did you
started when
start
she was
coding at
10?
10?
Yeah.
I did. My fifth grade had like a
She took it in 8th grade. Yeah.
That's very sweet. Thank you so much. Wow, what a great note to end on.
That's right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Annie. You take care. We'll see you in
guys.
Nashville.
Okay,
All right.
thanks guys. Have a good
Bye,
one.
Annie.
Bye.
What a great segue, or what a great setup for our next discussion, you guys.
And we apparently don't look like we're 30, but that's okay. It's okay. We accept that.
Oh man.
I'm so comfortable with my
This own it, right?
Yep. Can't
Right, what's
stop
the
it.
choice?
Well, talking about your brand and your professional presence, we're going to talk a little bit about that. Jackie, what are your thoughts about that? We've seen a lot of different conversations in the Facebook group over the last few months.
So I just want to start this, and Angie and I have talked many times about what we're going to talk about. And the one thing I want to start by saying is AAPC did not ask Angie and myself to talk about this topic. This was totally our thought because we are longtime supporters of AAPC, and we're just concerned members of our group. So what I feel like I need to put up a disclaimer. These are not comments from AAPC. This is really just member to member. This is all this is member to member conversation. And that's all this is right there. And I don't have a lot of time in the day to search through the AAPC Facebook page, but when I'm due, I'm very disheartened in what I see. And I have like 3 main areas of concern. But before I talk that, I thought Angie might want to just kind of help get into kind of where we're going with this.
Yes, like Jackie said, we're just concerned members. One, we're concerned about those who are on the receiving end of some of the comments that aren't very nice. And we're also concerned about the members who are putting those comments on there without thought of how that can impact themselves as well if they're going through a hiring process. And that's just our concern. We just want to let you know, hey, this is what we're seeing. We've both been in the role of someone trying to be hired. We've both been in the role of in the hiring process. I know many people who watch the AAPC Facebook page because they are members, and they are also hiring people. And they do not want to hire someone that could rock the boat, because not only are they looking for your capability to be able to code or audit, but they're also looking, is this a team player? Can they get along with the other team members that are on this team? And that's an important thing to remember as you're posting. Are you supportive of those other AAPC members in the group? Are you out just to kind of slash them down and say, well, maybe you shouldn't be here kind of thing?
True. And I want to start with just a personal experience. I don't know. I know that a lot of people that are in our social hour are very active in AAPC, and you speak and you do things. So I'm probably speaking to people who are not the ones I'm concerned about. But I did want to just mention a personal experience. I recently did a webinar for AAPC. That's something where you record in advance, they play it, and then I'm there to answer questions in the chat. That way, I'm not trying to answer questions and speak at the same time. It's a wonderful setup. And for those who've never spoken before, it's a very rewarding experience to feel like you're sharing information and helping people out. And my particular presentation was the 2023 guidelines and the E&M guidelines, the 2023, and how they would relate to primary care. And I had some questions coming in, and one person felt it not to send the question or statement to me personally, like a direct, but to the whole group, put out this big comment. I paid for this with a question mark. And this is nothing like what the description was. Well, it actually was exactly what the description was, but I answered the question, asked that person to please tell me what they wanted to talk about, and we can put it in a future webinar. No response. Then that same person came back and went, you should have just titled this medical decision making. And because I'm not getting anything, I know this stuff. And I commented back that, well, medical decision making is the cornerstone of, these guidelines. And I just kept thinking, if I were not my age, and I'm not talking about age, and I've done this so many times, it didn't hurt me. But if this was someone who was just starting out and felt so proud about being on this could demoralize them for the day or week or month. It's very upsetting to get this very direct attack at you. And that could have been handled with a direct message to me. And hey, Jackie, I thought you were going to talk about something else today. Do you know if this will be discussed or if it could be? Perfect. I would love that. Be glad to help. Very easy. So I guess when I go to the Facebook page, I see this as well. And again, there's three key things that as a member continue to upset me. So really, Angie and I are just here to remind you of a few things, a couple of things. And it's a part of the ethics and the rules of the Facebook page, the marketing. You've got to stop it. I had my own company for many years, but I respected the rules and I never marketed my company. And if you just do it to see if you'll get taken down, you're going to get the business before it's taken down. And that's fine. I want everybody to get ahead, but it's really not fair for everyone else. And I know right now people are thinking, I'm never going to attend any of her sessions. That woman's irritating me. And that's fine, But again, as member to member, can we just follow the rules? Because it's unfair to the whole when a few don't follow those rules. And the one thing that really saddens me when I see the membership, and like Angie was saying, getting upset with one another. I think the one comment, there were many, and I took photos of what they were, but the one comment that really upset me, just because I support this group so much, and AAPC definitely is trying to help us. I saw a message one day, someone had said they were very new to the group, and they wanted to know, what are these credentials and how do I get one? So obviously they joined the group. Alex definitely checked them out and they were appropriate to join the group, but they certainly were confused. And the first comment that came back was, if you can't answer that, you don't belong in this group. And I just thought, how terrible for this person to hear that. And again, it's just how much that it hurt me to think that this is a group that I've been a part of for so long. and how that's where our membership is going. And we do such unique work that we're the only ones who really understand what we do. We should be a little more close knit than that. And it's upsetting to me. So I'm going to hush for a moment before I go on and let Angie say something. Again, I'm not barking at anyone. This is really just remember, and it's not just for resumes or jobs. It's just how we look to the outside, because there are people in plenty of other organizations looking here as well, and it doesn't do much for us, and you're really just hurting your own credential when you do that. There, I'm going to hush now.
I think it's really important. I know most of us know the acronym about think, and that's something you should really consider before you post anything. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? So when you go to make a post, and I know sometimes, you'll see somebody that posts something and they post something and they post something and you're like, why do they keep posting that? Do they just not understand? But by giving it back that negative feedback, it doesn't help anything. So by helping that person understand in a positive way, that's so much more helpful to them, and it should feel more rewarding to yourself. Some of the things like I've seen on Facebook is you'll see someone who's frustrated because maybe they struggled with passing the test. So instead of having someone come back and say, well, maybe this isn't the career for you, you see that positive, hey, your goal is attainable. You can do it because I did it. I struggled with it and I was able to do it. And it's really nice to see those positive quotes. One of the things to also remember is that as an AAPC member, we have a code of ethics. And I don't know if you've ever looked at them, but they're listed on the AAPC website. But respect is one of them. And they ask, are you considerate of other people? Do you treat people the way you want to be treated? How do you react to others with different opinions? You see that a lot in the world today when it comes to every type of topic, especially something like politics. Yes, we all have a different opinion. We have a different stance. So when it comes to those gray areas of coding, I may think something differently than Jackie, but the way to get through it is, hey, this is what I believe and this is why. And then Jackie will say, hey, this is my interpretation. I'm not going to say, well, Jackie, your interpretation is wrong. Mine is right. You're going to have a different opinion about those gray areas. Be respectful of that, accept it, be able to support why you've chosen the stance that you've chosen. Treat people with dignity, courtesy, civility. Do not strive to solve problems. Do you try to strive to solve problems in a positive manner? And do you intentionally ridicule, embarrass, or hurt others? Remember, I know a lot of times when people come from that place of negativity, they feel like if they're able to bring someone down with them, it kind of raises them up. And that's not the case, because when your comments come out, it's a reflection of who you are, not the person that you're making those negative comments about. So don't try and intentionally ridicule, embarrass, and hurt others. And those, like I said, are all in our code of ethics on how we should respect one another. And as you accept your certification, you have accepted those code of ethics as well.
Angie says things so much nicer than I do.
That's why you gave me the good cop role.
No, Alex, how are our comments looking before we go on?
Well, Charity Evans just posted this. I asked a question recently as I didn't understand a post, and instead of someone answering my question, my post was removed. So Charity, there are probably 5 individuals who actively moderate, and we take turns each week. Can you imagine? I mean, I know people think, Alex, how do you do this every day, every week? Because it does not sleep. We check it at night and morning, every weekends, all the time. And so I cannot personally do that all the time while keeping my sanity at the same time. So thus we have some helpers, and because it's more of an art than a science, and we're doing our best to keep unity in the group or the groups. So we don't always get it right. So if you ever feel like that, you're welcome to message me. I can take a look at it, and sometimes this sounds crazy or weird, or maybe like a cop out, but it's for real. Sometimes I hover over something and then I just click, and it gets wiped out, or that happens when I'm letting people in the group sometimes. So we're humans, we're trying our best. And Charity, I am sorry that you felt like it was inappropriately removed. You're more than welcome to ping me and we can take a look at that. But that's kind of where we are. We're just and taking it a step further. AAPC, I know as a company, as a business, and we may not like a decision that the company makes. And we saw that with the CEU thing a few months ago. And know that there are humans trying to figure this out, trying to do what's best, because the intent, we did not expect that the feedback that we got so passionately. And Ray and I talked about this, just how that, we want what's best for you guys. We are trying to do our best to make AAPC the best community in healthcare and create opportunities for each of you to thrive. And sometimes we don't get it, and you guys let us know. But just know that not everything has this underlying evil, this underlying objective. Because one comment we see a lot is, it's about the money. It's about the money. And then I respond back and I'm like, I'm here and I live this and I see how decisions are being made. And I can sincerely say, it's rarely about that. You may not like the decision or the path that we choose, but we are trying to create the best experience and opportunities for our members.
And I'll take that. I know it's really hard, Alex, and I appreciate you saying that, but it's really hard as an employee of AAPC to make those kind of comments. But all right, I've been a member since 93 probably. Yeah, I've seen prices change. I've seen a lot of things change, but I've also seen the grocery store prices change. I've seen the gas prices change. My whole world, everything. So when we see this, I think as a member to member, and again, I'm being very clear, member to member, I think the one thing that hurts me, seriously, because I'm very involved in I mean, my whole career is AAPC, all my credentials, everything, I'm totally vested in this and invested, is when we don't get anything for our money. And that one, I think, is just confusion on the part of the person. You're not taking a time to see what is available to you for your membership. And I know some people have commented, I can't use any of those coupons. I can't do these things. Well, there are many other things. I do participate with other organizations that give me very little, probably nothing more than some articles I can read, being able to do that for my membership, and an invite to a conference. But you have to look at the larger picture of what you're getting. And I know this sounds silly to some people, but the networking is truly invaluable. I know, and I know I have Angie because I've met, but I have more than that. I have a network of individuals to help me that speak my language and understand what I'm looking, what helps me. So I find it hurtful as a member, and I know I'm making that personal, but I can only speak for myself. But in general, others of us who've been around a while, we do find it very upsetting to think that you feel you're getting nothing in return. One thing, because I know we're going to run it, and one thing that's very upsetting, because this goes against the rules as well. I teach classes, and when I see individuals posting pictures of quizzes and asking for help to get to an answer, I'm like, wow, your instructor probably wouldn't appreciate that. Because, and Angie, you instruct as well. Yes. And when you see that out there, because I'm very clear with my students, don't you dare put a question out there. You come to me, that's why I'm here. But also, this is copyright private information that's not supposed to be shared on social media, because other individuals who aren't in your class are taking any of that, they're seeing information that's they're really not privy to.
Well, whether
And
it's from AAPC or another
Anywhere,
provider,
anywhere.
yeah.
Right, thank you for that.
It's gonna be
Anything
copyrighted.
from anybody like that, we have to be very careful about those things. Angie?
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, and I know I tell my students all the time, I am here for you. Don't feel like you're bothering me to email me. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. And even when I speak at local chapter meetings, I tell people when I'm done, hey, you have any questions, email me. I love networking with AAPC members. Most of the AAPC members that I have ever interacted with have been amazing. I have friends who tell me that their offices are their AAPC chapter, and their chapter members are just so negative. The emails she gets and their chapter Facebook pages, I guess I've always been a part of such a great chapter. It's kind of like, really? You get yelled at for that? Do they realize that you're just a volunteer member and that you don't work for the AAPC, so you can't fix that? And that's another thing to remind you too. Going out and venting to other people and trying to pull them onto your side doesn't fix things. If the AAPC isn't told, hey, I don't like this, then they're never going to know, unless, Alex or somebody happens to come across the post to bring it back. But be honest about it. Tell the AAPC, hey, I'd like to see an improvement in this area, because they are truly here to serve their members and they want it to be a wonderful experience for you. They want you to get all the bang for your buck that you have out there. And so I think just, vocalizing it, just hoping to get other people on board and feel the same way as you isn't going to solve the problem. Be that problem solver, express your concern to the right sources and get those problems fixed.
That's a great point, Angie, because I know everyone feels like it's hard to reach out to who needs to hear it, but start with your NAB, your BOD, your local chapter. If you don't know who to reach out to within AAPC, this is why you have those groups. The BOD represents local chapters. The NAB represents the members also. All of that information is very easy to get to on the AAPC website. Find out who your representative is where you are. Reach out to that person. All their emails are there. You can find them and tell them, hey, this is something that's been on my mind for a while. I really have this issue, whatever it may be. That's where you're going to get some contact, and someone will take that information. You may not see a result immediately because this is still a company and things do have to go through certain lines, a hierarchy. But I have found, and I did find when I worked on that, when I was a member of the NAB, people would email me. I could find the right person to get that to, and it would be heard. Again, things don't always happen immediately, but that's your avenue to get your voice heard. It's not through getting other people, like Angie saying, getting other people on board with you. So remember the avenues you have. Your BOD, your NAB are there for you. If you're not sure who your representative is, then work with your local chapter. Ask them, who do I speak with? And that's what your chapters are for. That's what all these we volunteer our time through chapters, NAB, BOD, to be that liaison, to be that voice, to get back to where it needs to be. So Alex, how are we doing with comments now? Because I hope everybody knows Angie and I can't see them.
Yeah,
you don't see anything in the chat.
We're great. Just piggybacking off of that comment, Jackie, just you can, we're not saying, and I'm not saying that we don't want constructive criticism in the Facebook group. You can't, if we do something that frustrates you, that is a place to do that. But I think there's a tone and a respectful way that we can approach those issues. And just so you guys know, the mentality of when I'm moderating, that I will let the constructive or the criticism happen, but there's a point where I feel like this could go on for weeks if I don't shut this down. And everything has been said that can be said about this issue or that issue. And sometimes it actually gets escalated by some of these snippy comments that we may see, and people start debating. So I will often, after a point, after several hours, I'll make a final comment just saying, hey, I feel like we've addressed this enough. Everything has been said that could be said in here, so I'm going to close the comments. I just feel like that's where the health of the group and to bring us back to, I mean, you might still be frustrated with the situation or how something may be handled, but the constructive or the criticism has been put out there. And then I think at that point you can elevate it to NAB members, to me privately, and we're happy to look at that.
That's a great point, Alex. Yeah, and exactly. Go ahead, Angie.
I was just say one thing that you and I, Jackie, talked about that we didn't discuss either was if you have to create a fake name with a fake account to put a comment on the Facebook page, it's probably something that shouldn't be said. You should be able to put your name on anything that you're going to say and stand behind it. So that was just another thing I know we talked about. We had found some kind of fake accounts with fake names because people wanted to say malicious things without putting their name to it.
Good point, Angie.
It's not a workaround.
And we totally love the networking that happens on Facebook. We only wanted to just make people aware and remind them of we are a network, we are a group. And at the same time, though, once you go to that AAPC Facebook page, you're AAPC. And we do want to be professional. And like Alex said, that doesn't mean you can't make a comment that something didn't go your way. Absolutely, because you're networking. But there, like he said, there has to be a tone and a way to say it. And like Angie was reading from the Code of Ethics, we have to be respectful of one another. We have to remember what we're here for. And we don't do easy jobs. These are not easy jobs. And we are very busy. And yes, we get frustrated, but there has to be a way to find comfort in your group and not feel like you're being pushed away for saying, or, you want to be able to reach out and get legitimate good help.
Not what you say, it's how you say it.
You got it, Angie.
No all caps with exclamation points unless it's positive.
I love that.
Why are you yelling at me?
Exactly.
That's what I always think when I get an email in all caps.
Oh,
Why are you yelling at me?
I know. You do it.
Hey, we're close to our finish line, guys. And so everybody knows, our first thought was to handle this like a Jimmy Kimmel mean tweets. So I have on my screen a few of those, just because this conversation just happened naturally, and we've had great comments. And Jackie, you mentioned this, I kind of feel like we're preaching to people who already are the good stewards of the group. But I think we can all help each other out and help those who may not have been here be their best selves.
On Facebook, we can help make better comments when we see it and try to get involved and stop it before it gets too far. But just remember, people have feelings.
I'm going to read this one that I've got up because it's quick. It says, "You're a jerk," and then the following comment is, "You are."
No, you are.
Don't you love it?
Oh, boy.
That's bonding.
Yes. Well, this has been awesome. Angie, Jackie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex, for the
Thanks
time.
having us.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And to our viewers watching, we know many of you personally. We appreciate all that you do. We appreciate you being here with us and joining in this conversation. And I think just know the intent, like our intent at the national office, this is mentioned before, is to make our local chapters, your membership, your careers the best that they can be, help you fulfill your vision for your career path. And that's what I love, you guys. That is a real thing. And there are many in the national office who don't get to see what I see and talk to members like I do. And so I'm always sharing these stories, the AAPC interviews, and saying, hey, you guys, we really make a difference. AAPC is, we help people get traction in their career path.
Right.
So any final thoughts, Angie?
No, I just want to say I love all of you. I'm so glad you're here. Look me up so we can network, and I hope to see all those positive posts rolling in.
Thank Thank you.
Yes, yes. Jackie?
Yeah, I just agree. This was not to be negative. It's really in a positive mode. And the positivity is let's be more positive. And I think that's what it is. We do network. We do need each other. So let's just be nice about it. I really appreciate everyone joining in today. And you certainly know how to find me. And I'm available for questions or comments or anything. And I hope to see everybody in Nashville. Yay.
Yes, yes.
Very excited.
And we spoke about LinkedIn early on in the discussion. Hey, I think we should all, I hope we're all connected on LinkedIn, just to help support each other in our careers. And you never know when that may come in handy.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, it's true.
so find each other out there.
Yeah, network. Wonderful. And
Yes.
thank you, AAPC, Alex.
Yes, this was a good one. Thanks, you guys.
All right, thank you.
Bye,
Have a
everybody.
good
We'll
day.
see you next week. Angie, Jackie, stick with me just for a minute.
Sure.
Okay.
Mhm.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.